Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to describe something, and I'll use an analogy, and I want you to tell me if this is you. You're a car driving along, life. Car stuck. It's on the side of the road. You know where you want to go. The destination is there, but the car's not going, and you can't figure out why. It should be easy enough. I should just press on the gas, steer a little bit. I'm at my destination. The car's not going. You are stuck in life. How do you fix the car? How do you move it forward? You call a mechanic, because I don't know anything about cars. Or you call a life coach. And I found her, and this is what she helps people do. She gets under the hood, tinkers around a little bit, puts you back in the car, speeds you on your way. Oh, by the way, on your way, she connects with you to make sure that you are moving your car to your destination. And we're going to talk with her about that process today. She is Trinity Baker, and she's back with us. Welcome. How you doing?
Steve, I am wonderful. Happy Friday to you. It is a beautiful sunny Friday here in Maine.
I've been watching temperatures. Funny you should say that. And I don't know what it is in the last week, because it been weird weather, Sierra Mountains, lots of snow, blizzard, and all of that. In Maine, it's been relatively warm this winter, at least recently. Am I right?
Yeah, it has been. And we haven't had the amount of snow that we normally have. And so if you come to Maine right now, the conversation is a lot of disappointment and a lot of negativity. So I am totally spreading a lot of light wherever I go. Because, I mean, that's the thing is being down the fact that we haven't had really any significant snow and warm weather going to change it? No. So you will just look forward, right? I mean, my for example, my kiddo loves the mud. Send your kids outside, go play with the mud now. Now there's mud in March, which is super awesome. There you go. Right.
It's make the best of what you got. I have a friend that grew up with him. About 15 years ago, he just said, I'm done. Yeah. I'm moving to Maine. He didn't even know where he was moving. He went online, found a farmhouse for a great price, 90 acres. And just dropped down on top of it. And this is where he made his home. And it's funny when I talk with him or text with him, late September, October, he's like, yeah, winter's starting. Yeah. Because it gets cold early. But a lot
of people retreat here. I think it's just because it's very unique. We have all four seasons, but we also have all four seasons in one day. And so there's always that variety. So with that said, and to really embrace living here, you have to embrace all four seasons and be willing to embrace them all in one day.
It's funny when you first said, well, it's sunny. I right away got a visual of California. I didn't know you were going to say Maine.
No.
It's you make the best of what you got. And if mud is what you got, then have fun with the mud.
The mud, absolutely. Which leads us to the conversation that I love that analogy that you just presented, because a lot of the clients that I start to work with are stuck on that road, whether it's stuck in the road in the mud. So an environment is creating you to be stuck, or you're stuck because your car is broke down. You're going to need a tow truck. You're going to need a mechanic. You're going to need something. And so that's what I am for people's lives and people's mindsets. And so whether you're stuck in negativity, or you're stuck in the career, or you're stuck in the marriage that's not fulfilling, we don't change those things from anywhere else other than within. And so, I'm that person that goes in and shows you where we need to shift.
If it's a little change in your car, like the engine light is on, you can Google it and maybe figure it out. But a lot of times you have to have somebody to reset it. And that's kind of what you do. Reset the mindset of somebody that can't move it forward. Now there's two ways to focus on this. I believe one would be somebody that knows what they want, but they're not getting there. Then you have the other person that knows there's something out there, but they don't know what it is. So which one should we focus on first?
I love both, because I think both are really doors that just need to be opened, right? So I love both. I'm excited for both, and I've been in both places. Let's get started with those who may be feeling, I know there's more, but I'm not quite sure what it is, because that is really where my life started to bloom.
Yeah, you know what? But even before we go into how the process works, how you can help somebody, I'd love for you to go back to that moment where the sun came out for you, where you felt it start to bloom. When do you remember that?
I do. I do. I think we all have these valleys. We all have the mountaintops where things are really amazing. And then we all have these valleys where we are just like, what the heck is going on in my life, right? We're dealing with challenges. Maybe it's loss, death, being stuck, depression, anxiety, whatever it might be. And that's where I was. So 4 or 5 years ago, I had a 4-year-old, super blessed life. I was working as a nurse, but working 3 jobs, very overwhelmed, very exhausted. The work that I was doing was mentally exhausting and not fulfilling in the way that I knew I wanted to be fulfilled and make an impact. I was depressed. I had anxiety. I was severely unhealthy, and just completely miserable. And I knew at like 25, 26 years old, like I got a lot of life to live. I did not want to live it like this. And so I love looking at people's valleys at those really low points in our lives as like when you are planting a seed. When we're planting a seed, we have to dig a hole. We got to dig a hole to plant the seed. And when you look at your values, your really low points as that hole that you're digging to plant the seed, you start to have that hope and inspiration that one day there will be more. And when you have that hope and inspiration, you can then feel the motivation to reach out to people, to reach out to resources, to do that free training that keeps popping up on your social media feed, to reach out to that person that you keep getting introduced to or name keeps coming up, to really soak into the advice of maybe someone's recommending a book and you're like, okay, this is the 4th time I've heard about this book. Your eyes start to get open to what the key is, which is that key, all these things we're talking about that can help really are like that soil on top that's full of nutrients, that sunlight, that water that is needed, right? And so I love looking at people's deep, dark valleys as this hole where we plant seeds. And then when you do the work, everything just blossoms. And it's just a cool way to think about it so that you don't feel that defeat, right?
Do you feel these things show up for a reason? Like somebody keeps saying the same book, or somebody wants you to meet this person and you're like, I don't know if I want to meet him. I don't know if I need to, but and then somebody else mentions it and somebody else mentions it. Do you believe that's happening for a reason?
Synchronicities, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's universes or whatever higher power you believe in. I think that it's universe's way of redirecting you. And when we're in a place that we don't have a growth mindset, when we are so closed off that, man, my life sucks and I don't even see a way out of this, we don't see those synchronicities. We don't see those signs. We don't hear those voices. They come, and it's like the universe is begging us, like, please just see this, and we are closed off to it. So a lot of times as a life coach, right at the first session, right at the consult call, the one we haven't even started yet, right? I can see where the universe has sort of been screaming at this person. Here is your next step. But because we have disempowering beliefs, because we have traumas, because we have negative mindsets and fixed mindsets, we can't even see them. So a lot of times as a coach, it's me opening your mind, which is why I'm a mindset coach, because you have to have that solid foundation. You have to have a growth mindset to even see those things.
This happened to me, and this illustrates what you said about the universe. So you always hear, got to keep a gratitude journal, got to keep a gratitude journal, got to practice gratitude. I get it. Sounds reasonable. Not a lot of work.
Yeah.
And people like you would tell me that. And I would just say, okay. So then somebody hands me a journal. I just got this for you as a gift. I think it was my birthday. Oh, cool. Okay. Then I get another one in the mail. I'm on the board of the Girl Scouts. So it was just like one of those things that they send you. I was like, oh, here's another one. Then another one shows up. I can't even remember where that one came from. And that was my push to start keeping a gratitude journal. I will admit, even despite all of those signs from the universe, I resisted it. It was like, why am I doing this? I know it only takes 30 seconds. I'm writing 3 things I'm grateful for every day. Yeah, what's a big deal? And once you get hooked on it, it starts changing your life. And I was out late last night helping a friend paint. And so I woke up late this morning and I didn't write in it. And it's almost like I'm addicted. Like, I got to go do that.
It's a missing piece. These things start to become like something that you have resisted, starts to become your normal habits, start to become things like brushing your teeth. You know, you never think twice about brushing your teeth. You start to never think twice about doing gratitude journals. You start to never think twice about meditation or going for a daily walk or moving your body some way, hydrating. I mean, these things that we resist, they're signs. They're signs. And so if you
Yeah.
feel yourself constantly saying like, oh, I should work out, I should work out, that's a sign from the universe to just get up and move your body. You know, it's the resistance. We build that resistance again because we have these limiting beliefs that, for example, gratitude journaling has to be 200 things you're grateful for. No, just start with 3. We got to
Like,
stop resisting.
I wrote this cup of coffee. I'm grateful for this cup of coffee because it makes me feel good. I decaf, but it's my treat. And I appreciate the people who grew it, the barista, just what you said before. Just what you said before, Trinity, about brushing your teeth. We don't think twice about it. We just do it. Why do we do it? Because someone we trust told us to do it. That would be your parents. We don't have the trust in the universe, others, and ourselves. So when somebody tells me, keep a gratitude journal, it's going to make a big difference in your life. I'm like, whatever. I don't have time for that because I don't fully trust. You need to just go like this and say, all right, blanket, I trust. There you go.
It's one choice at a time. That's what personal development and stepping into our true selves and getting unstuck. It's just making one choice at a time. So when you look at it like that, becoming your true self, it doesn't look, and getting unstuck, it doesn't look so big. It doesn't look so overwhelming when you just look at it one step at a time. And then you change your identity. So you came from being someone who never journaled and didn't practice gratitude to someone who practices gratitude in journals. And so you're shifting your identity along with that. And that's why it starts to become habit. And that's why on the days that you might skip it intentionally or unintentionally, you feel a little off because you're not your true self. And that's your body being like, Steve, what are you doing? This is something we do every day.
Because of all of this in my journey, which started 3 years ago, and we talk about having those goals and wanting to go somewhere, I know it's going to show up and happen. I know it sounds cheesy, but that's what's in me. If you talked to me 5 years ago, I don't want to say I was lost. It was all good. I was moving, maybe not moving forward, but moving okay. But now what I want, or what I believe I deserve and should be there career-wise, whatever it is, it's going to happen. It's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling of hope, and it doesn't feel artificial. Like some people, oh, you drank the Kool-Aid. All right, great for you. No, it feels legit. It's just getting there and taking the little steps, and I'm talking little steps to get there, and just having that confidence. I remember I was going through some challenges about 2 years ago, potentially life-changing, some of the things out of my control. And I remember walking out of this office building to my car. It was a sunny day. I remember where the sun was. And I was like, I have a feeling of, I call it quiet calm. Like, it'll be all right. Don't worry about it. It's all good. I don't worry about stuff like I used to anymore.
Nope. And when you let go of that, when you start to realize, and this is one thing that I really work with my clients on right from the get-go, is because this is part of mindset. When you realize that we really have no control, and the more you surrender, the more you receive, because we don't control our destinies. We don't control anything. All we can control is ourselves. And so that includes our mindset, that includes our intentions, that includes our habits, that includes our actions. And so when you ask yourself every time you go to do something, or every time you're thinking about something, or you're saying something, is this really who I am? Is this really my best self? that starts to pivot those decisions, those actions, the things you say, the things you think a little more every single day. And that adds up. I'm not about the 0 to 100. When we try to change these things 0 to 100, we don't shift our identities with them. So when we change them from 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, we're shifting our identities. And that's what the universe, our divine guidance, wants to see. It wants to see us step into our true self, so then it can really gift to us with where we're going, right? Because where we are going is a gift. All of these things we want to achieve, they're all gifts. They're rewards for our consistent action and consistent habits, choices that we're making. And so with that said, when you make choices and say things and make decisions that don't serve you and your highest self, you will get rewarded in the opposite way, which is lessons, right? Those are those stuck moments, because if we don't listen to the little lessons, it all becomes one big stuck moment.
Do you feel that we ignore certain things? We know what the right answer is, but we continue doing this over here when we know we should be doing this over here, but we don't want to let go of this over here. And that could be a relationship. You know that the right person, your destiny, the life partner, the one that finally is for you, is sitting right here. But you're over here with this other person just because maybe it's comfortable, maybe you don't want to be alone, and you're afraid of all of that. But until you get rid of this can't show up. Do you feel that way?
100%. And you can see that same correlation between jobs, right? I don't want to leave my current career because I'm, 30K in student loans, when I really am like being guided towards this direction. Relationships, ways of life. So that's like sobriety. You may be someone who occasionally drinks and you're like, ooh, sobriety really is like calling for me. We can do that in every area of our life. It's that divine guidance. That is divine guidance. So when you're feeling that, you really have to take the time to reflect. And I think the disconnect here is a lot of people don't take that time to really reflect on that and ask yourself, like, what does it mean? What are my next steps here? And so that's where a life coach comes in, is I can help you reflect, because I'm comfortable either way. I don't have the traumas that you have. I can give you a perspective that is totally outside and coming from a growth mindset of someone who has the expertise to say that is the right decision and you need to make it, regardless of how uncomfortable that is, and give you that hope and build that picture for you. And that's why I can take people who are stuck with no direction, people who are stuck with direction, and just catapult you to that ignited life that we are all here to live.
Go back to the car. So you're sitting in the car, you're stuck side of the road, and you're looking, there's smoke coming from the engine. Steering is weird. It's making a noise over here. Something's up with the tire over there. You're sitting, you're like, I gotta get somewhere. I know I need to be somewhere, but I can't because I got all this going on and I don't even know which one to start with. Well, that's where you come in to dissect. All right, well, you need to work on this. We're going to fix that. We're going to fix that. That's the clarity that comes in. I want to ask you, Trinity, define inner peace.
There is a fabulous book called The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer, and it is all about that inner peace. It is about calming that inner chatter. That voice that constantly runs 100 miles an hour.
Can I share with you something? I was just on a retreat this weekend, and the one thing, this is what they call it, the monkey chatter. You ever see monkeys in a zoo or whatever? And it's like, and they're all like, stop.
Yes.
It's in your head.
It's the monkey chatter, right? And so again, all of that talk is that inner voice, and that inner voice is fueled by limiting beliefs, is fueled by our past traumas, is fueled by other people's opinions, it's fueled by comparison, it's fueled by the news, it's fueled by everything but us. When your inner voice starts to be fueled by yourself and your divine guidance, that's inner peace. And in order to achieve that, we have to overcome the limiting beliefs, the traumas. We have to really dissect those and build your mindset up. And I'll tell you, once you hit that inner peace moment, it is so beautiful. And my clients text me, oh my gosh, I know what you mean by inner peace now. And I'm just like, hallelujah, because it is a moment that every single one of us deserves to experience and then live.
I look at it this way. I didn't have that inner peace. And it was my own fault. Back in the day, it was, worrying about this, losing this job. What if this happens? What if that happens? And I'm not very religious. Back in the day, we'd go to church and they would say, peace be with you. Peace be with you. And I would say, this is only a few years ago, by the way. And I would say, what's this whole peace thing? What are you guys talking about? What's it? And until you realize I don't have any. And then when you find it, it's like, oh, okay. Now I see what's going on. And take away religion. It just that has nothing to do with it. It's just a mindset, a feeling. I guess it goes back to maybe the confidence, the faith in yourself, the faith in this thing called the universe, that it's going to be okay. It's going to support me. Stop the worrying, stop the chatter, get some, and I loosely say this, get some help, but I mean that, get a mechanic. Mechanic for the car. And that's you. How does it all begin, Trinity? Somebody wants to work with you. The car is stuck. What do we do?
Yes, absolutely. You can find me on all social media platforms. So I'm the Trinity Baker. You can also find me at my website, which is thetrinitybaker.com. I offer a complimentary coaching session to everyone because I'm so passionate about what's within you. I want to show you on that call how to ignite your life and how you have everything you need within you. So I have that button right on my website. Go to contact me or connect with me. There's a button right there to book. But I also want to show you that you really do have the power of this within you. Your mindset is powerful. And so all you got to do is text my mindset, one word, to 85100, and you get my free 5-day training sent right to your phone. So you can experience the mindset transformation on your own. And then you can connect with me after for your coaching session.
Love it. You make it so easy. I have to ask, final question here. Is there a story behind the name Trinity?
Oh, you know what? There is some religious story. But unfortunately, I don't know that history. So I need to develop that history on my own and really make a meaning to it. I have to say is when I started my practice, I developed this thing called grace, gratitude, and celebration. And for those of you who may know what Trinity means spiritually is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, three, right? And so I think it was a, 3 is kind of like my number. People say what's your favorite number? What's that number that keeps popping up? 3. So I think really that's the purpose and the meaning behind my name is that 3. There is that 3, that powerful 3, it is in your life. And I think that grace, gratitude, celebration, really creating that was my 3. That's my legacy. And that's how I teach the power of mindset.
I gotcha. And the number 3, very powerful as I learned more about manifesting. Nikola Tesla did all of his experiments with 3. Everything he did, and he was a genius. We wouldn't be here today without him because he invented electricity or discovered it. And the motor, talk about a car. Everything he did was divisible by 3. He wouldn't do anything. And there's a manifesting principle based on what he discovered or shared. And it's called the 3-6-9 principle, all divisible by 3. So I don't know why I had to ask you that. There was I think maybe that's
a reason for everything, Steve. I appreciate your time having me here.
I agree. Yeah, you're fantastic. Thanks. And very much looking forward next time we get together.
Yes, me too, Steve. Have a great day.
You too. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
when I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.